Today I'm going to be completely rearranging and organizing my studio. So this is my main work desk. It is a sit-stand desk and it has a lot of large space to use. And I really love that I can sit at the desk at any angle, making the most of the light in the space. And when I'm printmaking, I can make it a standing desk so I can use it as kind of a bench space. This is my drying rack where I put up my prints to dry. It's a clothes drying rack that I found on the side of the street for free, and I've just clipped pegs to the rungs using paper clips. This desk is just a dumping ground for stuff and it doesn't work for me at all. My shelves and storage are pretty unorganized and I don't really know where everything is at the moment. I have stacks of books and stuff that I use to press lino blocks and prints and paper. This probably needs to be tidied up and organized and made functional so it's a proper station. Here in Melbourne, we have what's called hard rubbish days in some of our suburbs, and what this means is that the council will pick a specific day that they're going to come around and pick up large rubbish items like used mattresses and old couches, and they collect them and they crush all the stuff and take it to landfill. If you figure out what these dates are, you can go to these suburbs the day before all of the stuff is going to be collected, and you can find really cool stuff for free on the side of the street. So this past weekend we went out to a suburb about half an hour away and we spent about 3 hours collecting stuff. So I have a whole bunch of new things that I can use to help organize my space. I have like a metal trolley that I can move around, so I'm going to put all of my tools that I use at my desk in the top of that. I got a cane shelving system that I'm going to put here for my most used materials, and I'm going to make a little bit of a display on the shelf of things that I want to keep in the space because I love them and I find them inspiring, but which don't have as much function, and I just want kind of kept up out of the way but displayed. So first things first, I'm going to bring in the large shelf that I found and I'm going to give it a wipe down and start getting stuff up onto that shelf. So this is the hard rubbish trolley that I found that I'm going to put my most commonly used like art things. I'm going to put all my pens and pencils and paints and paintbrushes and things that I use most commonly. I'm feeling pretty good about the progress that I've made. I've done a bunch of organising so far. I need to put all of these books into the new shelving unit behind me. I have a bunch of prints that I need to organise. Some have been listed online and just need to be filed. Some need to be flattened and listed, and others I'm just part way through working on them and they just need to be kept securely until I get back to those projects. I also have a box of lino cut blocks, like all my old lino cut blocks, that it's sort of like higgledy-piggledy, and I reckon maybe if I organise it, it'll actually fit inside the box. It's kind of close to overflowing, so I want to organise all of that. I have a bit of rubbish and stuff that I need to take out, and then I just want to do a bit of a spruce up, a bit of a wipe down, and like a sweep and a vacuum just to finish up. When I was going through all my old lino blocks. I didn't realize that that box had literally every lino block that I've ever carved, which is kind of nice. I found this one and it has to be probably my favorite block that I've ever made. And I thought maybe I would frame the block and hang it up. Okay, I'm feeling so good about the refresh and the reorganization I've done of the studio space. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the space now and show you how everything's arranged. This is the station I've set up for my typewriter. I've put some plants. I've hung this lino block. And I've put down this mat, which I keep trying to find somewhere to put where it doesn't get wrinkled up by the dogs. And I thought putting it here might stop me putting other stuff on this table. I've got my board and my rubbish bins there. I've put my rubbish bags into this box. So now I don't have Aldi labels everywhere. This magazine holder has a book and some music that I found in hard rubbish that I'm going to make into paper. We have all my plants still. This is the new shelf that I found in hard rubbish on the weekend. I've put the typewriter that I have that doesn't work yet here, a few sentimental items, my human reference model thing that I found in the secondhand store recently, a little spray bottle for water, this cool little date thing, so you can change the day and the date. And a little cutting. I've got my printing press, the books that I'm working on, and in this thing I've got my journal, handmade paper, watercolor paper, my sketchbook, the plastic that I sometimes use to put between things when it's drying or pressing, some Tetra Pak and some lino. That's the baking paper I use for tracing. All my lino cut tools are there and some extra paper in this box. That's my pasta maker that I'm using for a press, and I've put all my art books in the bottom here. On this desk I've got my stack of books and I've got lino blocks that I'm working on that are pressing so they stay flat. It's my little trolley with my most used art materials, and I can move it around the room with me. So I've got paintbrushes, pencils, pens, an ink pad, some white paint, and various knives and pointy tools and knickknacks and things, erasers, clips and pins, tape, India ink. I've got some bamboo, and that's long-term that's longer term storage, like stuff that I don't use that often, like just like random art supplies and old prints, some cardboard, different stuff. My drying rack is still in place. I'm just gonna move that drying rack out of the way. I've got all my packing stuff laid out so it's much more accessible than it was before, which I'm excited about because it was always a bit of a scramble. I have a docking station for my electronics and some extra electronic stuff down below. I've got my rollers, all my inks, some spare paper pulp and my paper making screens. My other press, and those are all the prints that I'm currently working on and have listed on my website. Some extra boxes of stuff and all my lino blocks right at the bottom. And that's basically it.